Right, that's fine to go. Good to go.
Brilliant, thank you. Oh, my screen stopped sharing, has it? Someone tell me. Has my screen stopped sharing?
No, it's there, Laura.
Oh.
I can still see your screen.
I can still see
I
it.
have no idea why I can't. Hang on 2 seconds. I'm going to have to reshare because my window just completely closed down there. Okay, I'm back. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, let's go. Okay, so just to give you some real headline numbers and some facts about Enterprise, if you don't know already, we are obviously an international company. We are an American company initially, but we now operate in 100 countries. Our main presence is within the Americas, Canada, UK, Ireland, Scotland, Germany, France and Spain, but our presence is also sort of becoming more commonplace in numerous other countries as well. We have weathered the COVID storm, which is fantastic to be able to say, and we are still a strong business. We are privately owned by the same family that set us up in 1957, and we currently have 100,000 employees globally. The fantastic thing about that number is that 97% of that workforce started on an entry-level position because we believe in promoting from within at Enterprise. So you can imagine the number of people that have moved onwards and upwards to have successful careers with us. We currently have an annual revenue of $24 billion. We have 2 million vehicles and we operate in 100 countries. I'm just going to touch back on that 2 million vehicle piece because I think it's really important to just quickly inform you that we are aware that that isn't necessarily a great factor when it comes to conservation and when it comes to sustainability. So we do put a lot of effort, time and resource into ensuring that we are as green as we can possibly be. And we do a lot to offset the emissions, whether that's a carbon offset programme, whether that is a pledge to plant 50 million trees in 50 years, or whether that is financial investment into conservation and research projects. There are a few other things to Enterprise than most people know about, and the reason I'm telling you this is because if you join us at Enterprise Rent a Car, you have the opportunity to get promoted into the other streams of our business as well, and those promotional opportunities do come up frequently. So Alamo and National are the two on the very outside of this screen here, and they are brands that operate in their own right. They were standalone companies who we purchased around 15 years ago now. And in the UK, we operate those brands in our heavy retail locations, so train stations and airports primarily. So if you do work for us and you work in one of those locations, you become an absolute customer service master, because an Alamo customer needs something very different to an Enterprise customer, and a National customer, again, is very different. So you find that you serve a full remit of customers for numerous reasons, and you do become incredibly versatile in your offering. Enterprise Car Club is the next little tab there, and that is a very flexible rental solution that we expanded into around 5 years ago. It is still in quite its infancy stage, I suppose you could say, while we are developing the technology to grow. However, we do have quite a large presence in that market. It is a car share scheme, so our customers join the car club on their phone. They pay for a membership, which allows them to use UK-wide car club vehicles. The vehicles are positioned in prime locations across the UK, and it is available 24/7. So if you need a vehicle for whatever reason at 4 AM outside of York train station, Enterprise Car Club is your solution. And it is a lot cheaper than a taxi. You can rent it from as little as half an hour, as long as you return it to the same location. And yeah, you know, you can do it from the age of 19 as well. So it's a super versatile, super flexible short-term rental solution. That's an exciting brand because, as I say, it is expanding, and we expect that to expand tenfold in the next 10 years. So more opportunities will become available there. Pardon me. Pardon me. We then have the Exotics brand, which is what it says on the tin. It is the more interesting premium vehicles like Lamborghinis, Ferraris and Range Rovers, Aston Martins, etc. Sorry, excuse me. This will teach me to do 4 back-to-back presentations. So yeah, our exotics brand is something which is centralised in London, but services the whole of the UK and does our more prestige vehicles. And then the final string to our bow in the UK is Enterprise Flexi Rent. That is the vehicles around the other side of this diagram, which are obviously a little bit less glamorous, but they are things like Arctic lorries, refrigerated wagons, pretty much anything you can think of with 2 to 16 wheels is part of our Enterprise Flexi Rent fleet. And our Flexi Rent fleet is now the UK's largest leasing fleet. So we have cornered that market as well. We work alongside the NHS and provide them ambulances, and we also work alongside a lot of very high level companies. So you will have seen more, probably 10 times more enterprise owned vehicles than you even realise. And again, that is a growing business. So there are a lot of opportunities that come up for promotions into branch, area, regional manager opportunities there as well. Because it is an entry-level position, we don't expect you to come with years and years of management experience. Instead, we look for you to demonstrate our values and our competencies. So our values are really dear to us. They are the things that we were set up with many moons ago, but there are things that we still really do demonstrate in our day-to-day life at Enterprise. You can see that the vast majority of them are centred around people, because our founder believed in looking after people, looking after communities and neighbourhoods. And whether that's a customer or an employee, that is still what we do today. We try very much to make our environment a fun and friendly place to work. And we do a lot outside of the team as well. So we will go into the local community. We will maybe go into a local school who need some people to go and help rebuild a fence or dig a pond, or we'll go into a local charity shop and paint the floors for them, or we will give them vans and drivers to go and collect their goods. So we do really try and make sure that we have a conscience and we act on that. The final one, our doors are always open, I think is really important to emphasise, because quite often it's misconstrued that we're talking about our customers there. And obviously it goes without saying our doors are open for our customers. We want them to come to us, but this is one of our values for our internal operation. Our doors are always open to our employees, to our fellow team members. We have a mentor program at Enterprise that I'll tell you a little bit about, but we very much have a culture where we invite our teams to create more relationships, create more mentors, create more sponsors for themselves to help them throughout their career. And you can approach anybody. You can email our CEO, you can email our local director. And if you think that they will help you and that they have an affiliation with yourself or with your sort of aims and goals, then ask them to be your mentor. And I can guarantee they'd say yes. Just a couple of fun slides about the kind of things that we've done and the kind of things that we get involved in. I mentioned the 50 million tree pledge in the centre there. You can see one of our teams getting involved. That isn't something that we're doing in one location corporately. That is something that I personally have done in Newcastle. I know my teams in Leeds have done it, and it's something that comes around very frequently. We're around 20 years in to our 50-year 50 million tree pledge, and we are well on track to get that done. We work alongside our communities in multiple different ways in terms of social mobility, in terms of diversity and inclusion, and we've won several awards obviously for those things, plus our general management training scheme as well. So we are acutely aware we cannot do any of this and be successful and grow on our own. We do it together. We do it because of the fantastic workforce that we have. So if you are interested, we have opportunities open right now for our graduate management trainee role in numerous locations across the whole of the UK. I've just picked out a few here. If the job that you are interested in isn't listed here, or if when you go to our website you can't find it, come to me. I will point you in the right direction and I will connect you with the right recruiters. So headline stats for the graduate management role. We start on 21,000, which it's a salary. It's a salary based on the hours that you work. However, there are incentives and bonuses available from day one. On target earnings for the first year, around 23,000. Normally, within around 12 months, people have progressed through their training and they are in assistant managers roles. At that point, you start earning a percentage of the profits of the branch that you run. So almost like running your own independent business. It's not, it is corporately owned and you have the backing of a very successful family who will be there if anything goes wrong. But if you put in a real hard month, if you work really hard and you find efficiencies within your business and more revenue streams and better ways to control your break even, and you make a lot of profit for the business, then we absolutely believe you should get some of that to take home. And that's what happens. From assistant manager onwards, you start earning that commission. In the northeast of England, including commission, the average for an assistant manager within our business is just under 30,000. Branch manager is usually achieved within 2 years, and the average take home for a branch manager in the northeast of England, including commission, is 43,000, with the highest earning branch manager in the northeast on just over 60. So you can see what you put in is really what you get out. You do start in a rental branch, so it isn't an office-based role. It is a hands-on customer-facing environment that you would work in. But we make sure that while you're in that environment, you do have guided training. We've obviously been doing this for quite a long time, so our training is really robust, and it's guided by an actual physical training folder, a folder that will see you do certain activities within all areas of business. And you won't rotate, you won't do 1 month in marketing, 1 month in finance, 1 month in HR. You will learn as you go in all aspects, starting from easier tasks and moving to the more difficult ones. So by the end of your training, you will be able to prove your extensive knowledge in all core areas to our sort of area leads, if you like. I've mentioned the mentor program. The mentor is somebody that's assigned to you in your first couple of weeks. It is somebody outside of your branch and area network, somebody like myself who came through the graduate management trainee program, but has moved on and moved into other roles. So now has the time to dedicate to you. I personally have 8 mentees currently. A couple of them will text me every week, some every day, and we'll just have a really informal relationship and really informal chat. Others I won't hear from until I contact them every 2nd or 3rd month. And then we'll go for a Nando's and have a catch up, and everybody uses their mentor for a different reason. So it's very much open for you. I've already mentioned the quick progression, but it really is super branch manager's role where you have full autonomy to run your business. And it is literally up to you from then. Where you go is up to you. I'm going to play you this quick video. If you can just let me know if the sound's coming through okay, because it is a bit hit and miss depending on the platform.
It's supportive, it's exciting.
You hear that?
No, you could to start, it's gone off.
Yeah, I can hear, but it's gone off a little bit.
No. Okay. I'll stop that, but I'll make sure I'll circulate it. I'll make sure that you get a copy of it. It's basically just some of our employees talking about the experiences that they've had with Enterprise, just to break down a few of the common myths, that's all. I'll make sure you get a copy of that so you can see it. Okay, so I've moved on. Hopefully you can now see our career path. As I've mentioned, management trainee is the first kind of rung. Then you move to a management assistant. The management assistant role is an opportunity for you to prove that you've qualified from your training, but really it's a holding zone. It is when you look around for assistant manager opportunities, decide which ones you're going to apply to, and make that step into that first junior management position. It's really important to emphasize that nobody will push you to other locations. It's completely up to you where you work. You guide your own path. I personally have never relocated for my job, and I got to area manager before I moved into this role. So you don't have to relocate. If you want to, you can, but again, that's up to you. Once you've been with Enterprise, we will fund a foreign language course for you. And if you've been with us for a year, we'll do that. And that means that if you do look at international opportunities, hopefully that will give you a little bit more, opportunity to move into something like that as well. Assistant manager normally held for around 12 months and then on to branch manager. At branch manager, you can see that there are other opportunities that open up to you in more specialist aspects of our business. You can't go straight into those from entry level simply because we think that it's important that everyone who supports our business understands our business and can support employees from all levels. So we like people to get to branch manager so they fully understand the business first. And then you might want to move into HR, recruitment, training, sales, business to business rental, vehicle repair, forecasting, risk management, finance. There's numerous different avenues to our business that you can get involved in. And the lovely thing is that even if you do branch out into that, you don't necessarily have to stay there. You haven't pigeonholed yourself. There will always be opportunity to move onwards into other strands as well. If you stay on the linear management path and go to area manager, the average is around 6 to 7 years to get there. However, it can be done a lot quicker. Somebody in that elusive video that I just tried to play is an area manager in our sort of Manchester Liverpool group, and she achieved it in 2.5 years. So it just shows you that it really is, it's up to you. It's up to your performance. If you keep going, you can see that we do get to more regional positions: group rental manager, regional vice president, and vice president / general manager. As we're American, we do use the presidential terms, but ultimately they are local directors, regional directors, and then on to UK director and European director before going across to our corporate head office in St. Louis in America. But the sky is literally the limit with us. Our CEO started as a graduate management trainee. There's no reason why somebody who starts tomorrow can't go on and take that position. So I've already mentioned our values. These are our competencies. These are the things that we assess during our application process. So we look for people to come with the opportunity to evidence customer service ability, customer service experience, ideally. We want you to be able to demonstrate your communication, both verbally and non-verbally. Work ethic is huge. And I think now more than ever, resilience goes hand in hand with that. I know it's difficult out there at the moment. I really do understand that. And just by being here today and by still looking for those positions, you're showing your resilience. And that's really important. Flexibility and adaptability comes next. We look for that within our business simply because customers all present different challenges. Days all present different challenges, and we want people to be open to that and to enjoy that aspect. We're looking for sales aptitude, but that doesn't mean you have to have been a salesperson. It might well be that you have the ability to demonstrate your negotiation skills from a society that you've been involved in, or that you can persuade somebody and you did this during a group project at university, or you might have worked in a retail environment where you've had targets. That's all fantastic. And then finally, leadership and, of course, teamwork as well. If you're going to be a manager, you need to have some leadership aptitude, but teamwork rules at enterprise. So getting to know a little bit about both of those things is brilliant. Our application process has never been easier. So all of our applications are done online at our website, which I will give you. It's careers.enterprise.co.uk. That's careers.enterprise.co.uk. We don't ask for a CV. It's all the application, which takes around 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Once you have done your application, it will be vetted by a member of my candidate management team, and they will get in touch with you with regards to moving forward to a virtual interview. The virtual interviews with Enterprise Rent-A-Car are two-way. You won't be sat with a blank screen and just questions. You will have a human at the other end of that screen who you can interact with, ask questions, find out more about the business and the opportunity. The questions are all geared around competencies. So go back to the last slide, look on our website. They're all there for you. We're very transparent at Enterprise. If successful at the virtual interview, we'll then invite you through to a branch visit. The branch visit is two-sided. The first reason for it is because as a candidate, we think you should get to see us. We think you should get to learn more about the role, the company, and speak to people within the business who are doing the role that you want. That way you get to really understand what it is that you're going to gain from it, but also understand what it is that you're going to commit to. Because ultimately, we're not looking for somebody who's going to work with us for a month and move on. We want people that are going to do the training and move into those junior management roles and be successful. The other side to the branch visit is that you meet the area manager for the region that you've applied to, so your potential employer. They will do another interview, which has some competency-based questions in there as well. And they will basically make that final decision at that point as to whether that's it, you get the keys and you're in, management training programme. We did used to do an assessment centre before COVID, and that was obviously a face-to-face assessment centre. Because of the type of company that we are very people-centric, and we didn't think that we could see enough of our candidates in terms of their personality, in terms of their attitude in a virtual assessment centre. So we decided to just get rid of that altogether. So I'm going to give you a few tips, and these obviously pertain to our interviews at Enterprise, but just virtual interviews in general. First one is pretty simple. Check your tech, make sure it's working, make sure that you're not going to end up with, sound issues or visual issues, that it's just not going to break down halfway through, basically. Check your device. Check that it is gonna stay connected. It's going to stay on the internet. You're not going to have issues with other alerts and other browsers that you've got open. Dress to impress. If you don't have the company dress code, ask for it. If for whatever reason they're not forthcoming with it, just use your savvy. You know, don't go to an interview for a corporate environment dressed in a hoodie, for example. Stage your background, and by that I do not mean that you have to go out and buy a cheesy corporate sign like mine. Just make sure that you don't have a sink full of dirty washing behind you. Just be as professional as you can in that. Avoid distractions, so, you know, put the dog out. Turn your phone on to silent. Close down any alerts in any of the other open windows that you have. If you have people within the house, just tell them what you're doing and ask them to be a little bit cautious when they're making noise. Simple stuff. Unplug the doorbell. I don't know about you, but I get about 4 million Amazon deliveries every day. So unplug the doorbell. Use open body language. You can probably see that I'm leaning in to the screen. I'm interested in you guys. I want to engage with you. That's how you show that you are engaged with the opportunity. Try not to animate too much with your hands. I know sometimes it's nice to emphasize a point, but in a virtual environment, it can be really distracting. Take notes. So have pen, paper, ready to go. At the end of every interview, you'll get a Q&A opportunity. You want to really listen to the answers that you're getting and not just take it as, I'll ask the generic ones you see on the internet and not really care about what they tell me. Them seeing that you're taking notes while they're talking really does show that you're engaged with that opportunity. And also take the environment to your advantage. You know, don't go crazy, but if you can do it without being too obvious, use notes, use some visual prompts. I personally had a promotion a couple of months ago and I had a couple of visual prompts behind the screen just to guide me. So when they asked me about, I don't know, leadership, I had a go-to answer and I had something to remind me about that. Obviously, we have the face-to-face element of our interview process. Some companies have managed to retain it also. So just a couple of tips there for you. Again, dress to impress. Make sure that you adhere to what it is that they're looking for, but also the smaller detail. You know, if they have in their dress code no more than 2 piercings per lobe, just maybe take one of your earrings out, or no visible tattoos, or, you know, if it's a corporate environment, polish your shoes, just little things that will stand you apart and really show you in that professional light. Ensure that you're aware of and you stick to any current safety measures. That's a huge one right now. The company should be really forthcoming and tell you what it is that they're going to need you to do, whether it's social distancing, wearing a mask, whether they're going to need to take your temperature, whether there's a one-way system in the office. If you're not told and if you're uncomfortable that you're going to mess up in that respect, again, make it clear to the interviewer ahead of time. Ask them what it is that they would like you to do with regards to COVID. Be prepared. You know, it's simple. Do your research, the same as with a virtual interview. Do your research on the company. Make sure you understand, you know, where they sit within their current marketplace. Make sure you understand their competition. Make sure if there's any highlights in terms of the local, the up-to-date news, the up-to-date media of that business. Just be aware of those things. It's much easier face-to-face to show your engagement. So take that to your advantage when you are in a face-to-face interview. Use your non-verbal communication, your verbal communication, and engage with their environment. If it is corporate, if it is very straight-laced, then respond that way and act that way. But if, like enterprise, people are having a bit of a joke and a laugh, then join in. Let them see that side of you. And that's another lovely opportunity for you to decide whether it feels right for you. And that's pretty much it. It's not rocket science, but hopefully those things do help you along the way. So if you are interested in finding out more, if you're interested in a role, please do connect with us, with the brand, but also with me. My LinkedIn and Twitter details are down there for you, and I'll be more than happy to organise another call if anybody wants a one-to-one conversation, or obviously answer any questions that you've got today. And it's that simple. Do you guys have any questions? As I said at the start, please do feel free to unmute if you'd rather do it that way as opposed to putting it in the chat box.
Laura, thank you. That was really interesting. Slightly different from the presentations I've seen by Enterprise before, but I found that really interesting. And especially the bits added in about the way we're doing things now with the pandemic and everything. So really good. So do either of you have any questions to ask Laura while she's on? Remembering that this is these roles are available now, so you can apply now.
Yeah. Oh, we've lost Rebecca.
Yeah,